Hi, and welcome to the Toon Goons, the podcast in which we take an adult and critical perspective into the world of cartoons and animation, and analyze how they affect the pop cultural landscape at large. I'm one of your hosts, Nikki.
I'm Nina.
And I'm Threech. Back again, no lore added, but 17 new outfits to buy my doll in.
Is that what that originated in? Yeah, that was.
Yep. I remembered the joke 10 minutes ago.
Good for you. This week we are revisiting Ever After High, I would say a surprise favorite of Tuchin and mine.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nina has loved it from the jump.
Yes.
We specifically talking about the three specials that aired since our first and only other episode about Ever After High, which are Way to Wonderland, Dragon Games, and Epic Winter. But it's mostly going to be Dragon Games.
Yeah.
But first, we got some news, some pretty big stuff dropped this week. Let's start with the article you have open on your computer next to me, Nina, because this is also the most fun one.
Yeah, let's start off with fun times. And that is, we got some more information about the upcoming Detective Pikachu movie. If you're not aware, they are making a Pokemon movie, a live-action Pokemon movie, and it's going to be about Detective Pikachu.
And Hollywood is making it.
Yeah, Hollywood is making this.
Good old Hollywood.
But what's interesting is we now know a little bit more information, and that currently Nicole Perlman and Alex Hirsch are in negotiations to write the picture. Nicole Perlman, if you don't know, she was the script writer on Thor, wrote the script for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Two of my personal favorite Marvel films. Not a lot, Guardians of the Galaxy was huge. Not a lot of people like Thor. I fucking thought Thor was super fun.
Yeah, me too.
The strength of Thor is that it was just a movie about a Superman instead of all this other shit that all of them are. It was a very simple one, and it benefited from that.
It was like comic books by way of elementary level knowledge of Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm. And she's also penned the screenplay for the upcoming Captain Marvel movie as well, so she's got props. And of course, Alex Hirsch, as you know, is creator of Gravity Falls.
Yeah. I didn't realize until just now, but it's not solidified, but negotiations are underway to sign writers. I wonder if that means that I would have to assume that if it's being reported on so widely that the odds are pretty good that it's gonna be finalized.
Probably, especially since they're the only people in the running. I mean, I guess I've only seen these kinds of stuff with actors before. It's here's a list of average-looking white men that Hollywood's considering for you to love. And I'm just I don't care, but I've never seen it done with writers, especially something for what's going to be a kid's property, and maybe just the combined sudden popularity of Pokemon, and also the fact that it's a Marvel writer and a Disney showrunner who's actually gotten some legitimate press since Gravity Falls kind of blew up a little bit in terms of what the mass media thinks of cartoons. So maybe just all that combined into a perfect storm of hey, let's report on this.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really interesting. I mean, I was already going to watch the movie anyway. Now I kind of have to watch it.
Yeah.
I do sort of like the idea of, the people at Legendary being okay, it's Detective Pikachu. He solves mysteries. Who's that dude with the show about the mysteries? That guy! Let's get him!
Well, I mean, I'm assuming since it's gonna be a game with a narrative, so I was always assuming that it was gonna be a similar, you gotta base this off the game, but... I mean, I'm not going to pretend to know Alex Hirsch personally. My first gut reaction was Alex Hirsch wouldn't want to write someone else's story. But then my second gut reaction was, if I was Alex Hirsch and somebody was hey, do you want to write our fucking big, super huge Pokemon super big movie? I would be yes.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't care, yes.
Yeah.
I actually wouldn't be surprised if it's not an adaptation of the game, though, and it's just the premise, and then they go.
That would be really interesting, but I don't know.
I figure because it's Hollywood taking the reins of a Japanese game that hasn't even been localized worldwide yet.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. There's a lot more synergy going on between Pokemon and like Nintendo, like Pokemon Company USA and stuff like that. So it could go either way. Of course I hope that Alex and shoot, what was her name?
Nicole
Perlman.
Yeah, that Alex and Nicole. I would hope that they get more creative freedom than I'm assuming that they're gonna get. So either way, I'm sure it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, like if you don't know, the game doesn't exactly have that much of a plot. We follow Tim Goodman as he ventures into the big city to search for his missing father, where he encounters Detective Pikachu. And the duo are quickly caught up in a quest to catch a thief and return a stolen necklace. Gameplay combines point-and-click investigation with logic puzzles to crack the case.
And Detective Pikachu is a man who got turned into a Pikachu and has like a deep Japanese man's voice. Who do you want to play Detective Pikachu?
Oh man, if it's gonna be Hollywood, if it's legendary, they can get people. Let's say Liam Neeson.
See, it's got to be a deep voice man. I was gonna go my favorite deep voice man, Keith David.
Oh, now you're talking. If only in a perfect world.
Nina, do you have a pick?
No.
Because mine's so perfect?
No, I just don't care about Hollywood actors that much.
You like Keith David.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Also, I think everything Keith David's been in the last 10 years, he's got to replicate the fight from They Live. So maybe Pikachu will have a weird, scrappy, rolling around on the ground fight with somebody.
And like the writers, like the two of them, like they get the notes back and they're like, "How do you justify this?" And they're like, "Well, it's a Pokemon battle."
I mean, I'm just curious what CGI Pikachu is gonna look like.
Yeah, that's gonna be the most. It's either gonna be look really out of place or terrifying.
Yeah.
Out of place would be better.
Yeah, of course out of place would be better, because it's going to look like a Pikachu, and that's fine. I'll watch Pikachu. I'll watch people pretend to interact with a Pikachu that was actually a tennis ball on a stick. But I would rather not. I would rather not watch this, like, strange, fluffy mass of overly rendered fur.
Yeah.
Like, solve crimes. Please no.
Oh, man. With, like, the buck teeth.
Yeah. Or it's got a little. I don't know. That'd be kind of cute if it had like a little bunny snoot, like if it did the little rodent sniffles.
Yeah, the sniffles would be kind of cute, I guess.
How would they bring in the ketchup addiction? Like ketchup is this Detective Pikachu's gin.
Takes like little shots of the little ketchup things.
Well, he pulls out a flask and Tim Goodman is like, "What the fuck, Pikachu? You drinking?" Like, and
he holds it over his open mouth and it slowly dribbles down.
All movie, and then when he has the I'm gonna remember Eddie Valiant like Act 3 revelation that he's got to put away the booze, he pours it out, but it's ketchup the whole time.
It's just a 3-minute uninterrupted shot, and like every now and again he like on the bottom of it.
I would throw up.
I have to do that a bunch at work. I do almost throw up every time. I hate ketchup.
I hate ketchup. It's the worst substance. Okay. So, next up is we've got another Batman animated movie coming along. But it's the exact opposite of the last one.
Oh.
In that it's going to be an adaptation of the 60s version of Batman. And it's going to feature the voices of the original series' stars, Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar.
That's amazing.
I did not know Burt Ward was still alive. That rules. When I saw this trailer that they have, it's not even like footage from the movie. It's like Batman and Robin talking about this movie that's coming out. And I thought it was Patton Oswalt.
Batman and Robin are caught in a sinister high-sodium trap, strapped to a giant TV dinner tray and slowly being conveyed to their fiery doom. But with the news of a new animated feature to lift their spirits, the Caped Crusader and his Boy Wonder make their escape to face the villainous machinations of the Joker, Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman. This was what the trailer featured. So, they know what they're doing. It's going to be released from Warner Brothers, of course. It's going to be called Batman Return of the Caped Crusader. and it will be released on digital HD on October 11th and on Blu-ray November the 1st.
One thing I like about Adam West is that he always sounds like he just woke up.
I was listening to the trailer just now. I was worried because I haven't heard him in a while, and I was worried that it might be one of those Casey Kasem deals where he's a little too old to do it. Man, that fool still got it.
Yeah, and frankly, sounding really sleepy just really works for this version of Batman.
Oh man, I only wake up to the sounds of justice.
And this animated Batman, he's even got the drawn-on eyebrows.
Yeah, it's so
even though it's a cartoon,
Yeah, enemies are gonna look like cardboard cutout. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, this is exciting. This is gonna be fun.
They should meet Scooby-Doo at some point.
Oh, yes. Okay. Let's see. We'll get to that one later.
Let's do this. Let's talk about yeah.
Okay, so the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, here in the United States, has announced that from September 7th to the 15th, it will be presenting a special exhibition entitled From Doodle to Pixels, Over 100 Years of Spanish Animation.
Whoa.
It's a major retrospective of the little recognized industry of Spanish animation. It will comprise 8 programs spanning the past century and covering many genres and techniques.
And by Spanish animation, we mean animation from Spain, the country in Europe.
Cool.
The programs feature work from 1908 through the end of the dictatorship, 1975.
I apparently don't know a lot about Spanish history.
Europe's first animated color feature, Garbancito de la Mancha in 1945, and a bunch of other stuff. And this includes classic hand-drawn, stop-motion, digital works, various cultural, political themes, anything from advertising to adaptations of literature to children's stories. It sounds really, really cool.
Lots of great meat morphs.
You could do some great stuff with Don Quixote. I love Sancho Panza because, first of all, he's got the greatest name of any character in fiction. And his whole bit is he just looks at the camera and is like, what is this fucking guy gonna do next?
He was the original Jim from The Office.
All the films are going to be in Spanish, but with English subtitles. Carolina Lopez, director of Eccentric Cinema at Contemporary Culture Center of Barcelona.
Barcelona.
And a number of special guest animators will introduce select programs. So if you're in the New York area, you really owe it to yourself to check this out, because this is super cool.
You gonna try to make it out to this?
Hells yeah, I am.
He's moving back to New York. Soon?
That's the plan. Stan. Cito.
Rent is still too damn high, is the thing.
I have money. I have the money. Nobody wants to give it to me. I'm like, here, take my money. Let me live in your house.
You're like, Anyway. One other cool piece of news is that Toho is going to produce the first Godzilla animated movie.
Woo!
Now, apparently there have been Godzilla animated movies before that they farmed out and sucked.
Yeah, probably.
There have been 2 animated series in the West that I'm aware of. I don't know about movies per se.
Yeah. Anyway, we got feature length, produced by Toho themselves, and it's simply called Godzilla. Going to come out next year.
We've got Kobun Shizuno, who worked on Detective Conan, and Hiroyuki Shishita, who worked on Knights of Sedona, who I was handling directing.
Now, hold on. Unrelated, or tangentially related, which is a Western name and which is the Eastern name between Detective Conan and Case Closed?
Case Closed is Western. Detective Conan is Eastern.
Okay. Now, this I just saw as we were setting up, and not when I linked this article to everybody a couple of nights ago. The screenplay, the original story and screenplay, is being penned by Gen Urobuchi.
Those of you who don't know, Gen Urobuchi, otherwise known as the Uro Butcher, he's a popular writer responsible for things like Madoka,
Psycho-Pass,
the other shit.
Song of Saya.
Song of Saya.
The only dating game I ever want to play.
That's an amazing double play because the movie they just came out with that made gangbusters is made by Hideki Anno, the other fucked up anime man.
Yeah,
they need to just get all the fucked up anime men and get him to make Godzilla shit. What's the Utena guy doing?
Ikuhara, he just finished another show.
It's finished. Get on charter a boat to Monster Island, buddy.
He's not exactly in the same vein, but you know who I would pay any amount of money to see do Godzilla?
Who?
Masaaki Yuasa.
No, that would be rad. Godzilla would be so flexible.
It would be a completely different movie. It would just be
like bouncing around. Like
I want all of my favorite anime directors to work on Godzilla now. Okay, let's make this a thing.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, get ready for Mr. Urabuchi to make you feel like a piece
of jackass for enjoying
Godzilla.
Oh
no! For the past, 70 years?
62.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Fuck, I can't wait to see Shin Godzilla.
Me too.
Apparently it's already sold 2 million tickets.
It bumped the One Piece movie off of the #1 spot. That was a conflicting day for me.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla. There hasn't been a Godzilla movie in forever.
And also,
that counted. Because there was technically one 2 years ago.
Japanese one.
Yeah, it was
That's
almost...
what I mean. Yeah, one that counts.
It was like 10 years ago. Maybe even more.
His eyes are so beady. How does he see? He can't see. He can't see jack shit.
All he can see is rage and pain.
Rage teeth. So this will be interesting. The fact that it's already set for release for next year implies that a lot's already happened.
Oh, they're franchising this fucker.
I mean,
it already was, but now it's lit up again. This is like Star Wars all over again.
Yeah, I mean, I've always found Godzilla an interesting cultural artifact, but I've never been super invested in it until I saw that trailer for Shin Godzilla, and I'm like, I need to see this now. That's the most excited I've been by a trailer, maybe ever.
Yeah. It's so fun. I want it. I want to watch it.
I want to watch it subtitled because if Funimation's doing the dub, that's gonna be weird hearing anime people do live action dubs.
Huh?
Because if it's being released in theaters, they're not gonna subtitle it. That's not
there's no money in that.
They can dub the animated one pretty easily.
Oh yeah, no, that one, yeah. But I'm telling you, they are releasing Shin Godzilla in theaters over here through Funimation, so it's probably gonna have a similar kind of distribution to Dragon Ball Z, how they did it.
Well.
Or probably bigger.
If it's a limited release, they might do it subtitled. I don't know.
I don't know what the difference is between like
they might do both.
The size of the property or what Funimation's even capable of. Is that even up to them? Like, I don't know. Maybe just the fact that maybe any schmuck. Maybe I could have the rights to Godzilla and people will be banging on my door to show it in their theater. I don't know how movies work.
Okay. Well, you better believe that we're all going to line up and watch it.
Hell yeah.
When it comes out. Okay.
And now, the shit.
The discussion time.
Let's do it.
This isn't so much a news story as it is
it's
a
been
talking news.
Yeah, well, here's what happened.
Okay.
In between the time we last recorded, Cartoon Brew ran a very sycophantic interview with the directors of Sausage Party, the Seth Rogen dogshit movie. And where they're just like jacking off the stupid fucking movie, being like, "Oh man, a cartoon for grown-ups?" It was like the whole fucking thing.
This movie was so good. How'd you make this movie so good, Mr. Movie Makes So Good, man?
But what was interesting is that for the first time ever, a comment section on a news article was worthwhile, in that animators who worked on the movie started talking about the production cycle of this movie and how half of the people who animated this movie were not credited because they were forced to work unpaid overtime to get this fucking movie out, and they're like, I can't do this anymore, I quit. The whole production cycle, I mean, the movie was animated domestically because, I mean, on a cinematic budget, you can afford that.
Yeah. And there was all kinds of crazy treatment, like, some animators were threatened to be fired if they didn't stay late to hit the deadline.
A lot of people who worked on that film for over a year were not credited, and the people who were credited were the frickin' scabs they got to come in at the end and finish it up.
Yeah. Because, people couldn't handle it. It was just crazy and intense what they were demanding from them. Like, it was a factory.
They don't know, because the people running the show they don't know shit for fuck about producing a cartoon. They just think, oh, it's gonna be easy. And, they put their own foot in their mouth in the interview, because they make it a point to be like, we promised that we could give them a movie that looked like it was a bunch of money for not so much money, and here's how we did it, and he gave a whole bunch of bullshit. So it's like he already set himself up for somebody to be like, actually, here's how you did that, asshole.
Yeah.
And then they basically said, no, we didn't.
Yeah. Because, part of the whole impetus was the movie, it's a parody of the Pixar formula, but they wanted it to look like a Pixar movie enough.
It does not.
But they didn't want to pay the price it would take to finance a Pixar feature, which, isn't cheap.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of labor to make a movie. And in general it is, but in animation, definitely. And, you can't just, chain a bunch of people to their computers and force them to work until it's done. And ask, why isn't it done yet? Why isn't it done?
But
they
did.
And the people from the studio, Nitrogen, are, saying, everything they're saying is made up, and, all these people left their friends and teammates behind, thinking it was going to be a garbage flick, and now that it's the talk of the town, they're wondering where their credit went. Fuck off.
Eat shit.
No.
Yeah, and I mean, apparently a lot of these animators who left...
It doesn't matter if they left. No matter what the circumstance is, they did work for you.
A lot of it was for free.
You need to you need to put them at the end of your movie saying, this is the list of... You remember the ending credits sequence of Finding Dory? Remember how fucking long that shit was? There was a lot of people. Because a lot of people makes these movies. It doesn't matter how little work they do. If they do something that you end up using in the final product of your film, or even if they don't, even if they make something you decide, oh, we don't need that scene anymore, you still have to pay them and you still have to credit them. That's just how it works.
It's shitty. This is just shit on top of shit, because it's the movie's already bad. But now the production's a shit show too? Can this film's history have one good thing happen? No, not at all. Every step of this thing is a shit show.
I don't trust any of
those. Sure have never mattered. We just did a great movie that no one cared about.
That's true.
But yeah, no,
anyway.
Fuck this film. Everybody, it's a comedy. It's a comedy, so everybody will forget about it in 6 months, if that long.
Yeah.
Probably not even that long.
We haven't talked about this film before, because when the trailer dropped, I made a point, we're not talking about this. Because I saw that trailer first thing in the morning, I woke up, saw people talking about this shit on Twitter, and I watched the trailer, and it ruined my fucking day.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Such a joyless, putrid pile of shit.
I've heard a lot of audience accounts from people who went to see it for whatever morbid reason that they wanted to see this obviously bad film, and at least one person was just yeah, I don't know why I stayed for the whole thing, but by the end of the movie, a packed theater was now half empty. People just fucking up and left.
Because the last scene is just an assault.
Oh yeah, now that, but also the account was just of people through different increments in the movie just slowly getting up and leaving. Just this film is horse shit.
Oh boy.
So now you've got a new rubric, everyone out there, because I know for me, from a few years ago when I first started getting interested in animation, a lot of stuff I would get would be oh yeah, you like cartoons, that's cool, so do you watch Family Guy? And I leave the room, and I never speak to that person again. This is that new thing. You can do that now for these people. Oh, did you see Sausage Party? Wasn't that great? Yeah, I'll never speak to them again. Delete them from your phone, burn your house down and change your name. Or burn their house down.
Yeah. The intermediate thing would have been Brickleberry if anybody watched it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember the ads for that in the
on
subway.
the fucking subway.
Yeah.
They were bad even for subway ads.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
Like, even ads for stuff that's good are supposed to be... Like, I haven't watched Kimmy Schmidt. Apparently it's pretty good. Those Subway ads are putrid.
Subway ads just don't make you want to watch the thing. They just kind of remind you that they're happening, and you're like, oh yeah. Another Marvel movie, some show about something.
Yes. Anyway, let's get into the good franchise we were talking about. Because it's great.
Yay.
Yeah.